All right, welcome one and all to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host today, John. And if you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. And we're going to do a little recap for Tuesday, July 1st. We're already in July. I know not technically, but the year is basically half over. Wow. Now we got a couple months of baseball. We got a British Open there. We got a FedEx Cup, but we got Wimbledon. We got, the U.S. Open. Until football starts, we really don't got a lot. And honestly, the U.S. Open ought to bring it back so they don't have to compete with football in that first weekend. But, I'm talking about college football. Pro football starts the next week. But, football is football, right? So let us talk about what happened in the world of sports for yesterday. And the NBA is heating up. The free agency is at a frenzy. The league year does not start till July 6th, but they are able to negotiate, basically set the parameters. I don't think they're officially able to sign the contracts until the 6th, but they are able to start negotiating on the 1st, and they have been, and they are going. Milwaukee, in the biggest move, and nobody saw this coming, they cut Dame Lillard. The superstar from Portland they acquired 2 years ago to help Giannis achieve an NBA title is second. They haven't quite been able to do it. Last year, he did have an Achilles tear. Going to be out for the entire year. So they decided that instead of pay him for 2 years, 1 year, of course, he's not going to be active, they're going to cut him and spread it out over 5 years for cap relief. You really got to make sure you're on the same page with Giannis. They've made a lot of moves, Gary Trent Jones, people like that on the periphery. I don't know how Giannis is going to take this because honestly, your worst nightmare is him going, I want out. They don't control their draft picks for the next couple of years. And this is a scary situation. I will say this. This is a bold move. I don't know if it's going to work out. This is a real bold move. This isn't a stupid move like Nico Harrison does. This is a bold move. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But really, what other options did they have? I'm not saying, for Dame, this is the ultimate. He gets his money, he gets paid, and he can sign with any team in the league. Hey, how you doing, Golden State? He's an Oakland boy. Now he wants to win a title. Okay, he's going to rehab. I would assume he's going to sign very soon because then he can get into their rehab facility, right? Golden State, that's his home ground. I don't know where he lives. I mean, he was a Portland Trailblazer forever. Maybe that's where his home base is, or maybe he relocated, permanently. The thing is, even though a player is in a city, like a lot of the NBA players live in LA, okay? As soon as the season's over, they pack up everything, they come to LA and enjoy the summer, right? I don't know where Dame is basically situated. I would assume maybe in San Francisco, Oakland, but I don't know that for a fact. I know his family's up there. I know he's always been very representative and very involved with the community up there. To me, the Golden State thing looks really, really enticing. But at the end of the day, like I said, I would think he'd want to sign. But then on the other side, you think, well, maybe you ought to let the year play out. Because if you sign with Golden State, let's just say Steph Curry has a career-ending injury. I hope he doesn't, but let's say, you would be like, oh boy, what did I do here? Maybe you sign for 1 year with a player option, give yourself that out. But, God, what they did in Milwaukee, right? They did sign Miles Turner, who had a great finals run with Indiana, signed him to a 4-year, $107 million deal. Nobody saw that coming. He's going to be a nice backup for Giannis. I don't know. Maybe they're going to play Giannis at point guard. I don't know what they're going to do, but we shall see soon enough. Duncan Robinson left Miami, 3 years, $48 million in Detroit. I can tell you what this is. This is exactly a byproduct of them pulling the offer from Malik Beasley, who's up on federal charges for basically gambling fraud, whatever it is, for throwing things on player props on January 30th of this year. And I do wonder about that. Why did it take so long to bring the federal charges out? I mean, it looked pretty obvious what happened there, but okay. Sometimes process takes a while. The Denver Nuggets Everybody is giving kudos to Houston, and they rightfully should. I got to tell you, I don't know what kind of thing they're doing in Denver, but man, they in the first 24 hours, they are going for it. They have added Tim Hardaway Jr., Giannis Valanciunas. It's late. Just please. From Sacramento, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson. They are building some depth. They lost Michael Porter. I understand that's a big loss, but man, this looks like it could be an interesting team. Adelman, I'm assuming he has going to get the full-time job. This is going to be something else. I'm telling you right now. Watch out for Denver. We're going to see what this is. This could be something. They didn't really have. I didn't think they had. I thought they were handcuffed. They were up against the second apron, and they're making some moves. It's like Milwaukee. Will they pay off? I don't know. In 3 months, am I going to be sitting here going, they're the dumbest son of a bitches who ever lived? Yeah, it's very possible. You know, everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, especially on podcast, right? All right, let's go to Wimbledon. The two results that really stick out to me are on the women's side. Coco Gauff lost in the first round. She lost to Yamasreska, and she was unseeded, lost 7-6, 6-1. 29 unforced errors, 6 winners, 9 double faults. You know, it just wasn't a good showing. Sometimes it happens. You know, Alcaraz in the first round faced Fognini, and it was a 5-set battle. And that just seems to be the difference is on the men's side. Yeah, there's upsets, don't get me wrong, but there's more on the women. And I don't know what that is. I mean, there is a lot of people who say that the reason the women's side is so volatile is because of their cycles. And I don't know. But I have always heard that is a big issue for why sometimes they aren't at peak efficiency. You know, it's a pretty traumatic thing, right? I mean, they could deal with it. They exist. But to play at peak athletic performance, it can be an issue, right? Jessica Pugula, who is the daughter of Terry Pugula, who owns the Buffalo Bills and the Sabres. It's always nice when your kids, you know, she's out there slugging it out. Even though you're a billionaire, you got your own private plane and staff, you still got to win. She unfortunately lost. I love tennis. I mean, I guess I watch way too much sports. But I remember a year ago at Wimbledon, and they were in the lounge, and there was the host, and there was Chris Evert, and there was Pegula, Jessica, and Chris came out and said, you know, what is it? What's driving you? How are you going to get to that next level? And we just got the corporate speak bullshit answer out of Jessica, and I was like, wow, you know, is this kid still trying to figure it out? And you know, when they finally break through, yeah, a lot of people break through on the women's side. You know, they get a major here, they get a major there. You don't even notice. She hasn't got there yet. But I was stunned at the answer that you're talking to one of the all-time greats who was, she was America's girl. But man, she would cut your heart out and hand it to you on the tennis court. She was just brilliant on brilliant. And I thought, wow, this girl doesn't really get where it's at. You know, she's trying to get to a certain level. I don't think she has a picture of what the next level is. That's all I got to say about that. All right. NBA will continue. We'll get to it tomorrow. Let's talk about what happened in the Major League Baseball. Yeah. Okay. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees 12-5. Leiter got the loss for the Yankees. He's 4-6. You know, the Yankees just been playing really good baseball, 48-37. But the Blue Jays are coming. They're only a game back. Yeah. Who saw that coming? Only a game back. They're 47-36. Holy heck. Oh, 38. Sorry. Hey. I'm getting old. My eyes aren't that good. Marlins beat the Twins 2-0. Pirates, they beat the Cardinals 1-0. God, I got to tell you, in this era, I see a lot of 1-0 games. It really surprised the hell out of me. Athletics beat the Rays 4-3. Kelly got your win, 2-0. Athletics, they are 36-52. After all the money they spent in the offseason, we thought they'd be a little more formidable. We thought they'd be in the race for a wild card. Doesn't look very good up there in Sacramento, Oakland, California, whatever the hell we're calling it. Angels, they are literally bipolar. They look good. They lose a series. They sweep the Red Sox. They lose the series to the Nationals. They go into Atlanta, win 4-0. Furman gets the win. Rangers beat the Orioles 10-2. DeGrom having an amazing year, 9-2 with a 2.1 ERA. I was looking at the stats the other day. The Rangers can't hit their way out of a bucket, but their pitching staff's in the top 2 in the league. Who saw that coming? They're still 2 games under 500. I have them to win 85 games in my future. Cubs beat the Guardians 5-2. Boyd got the win over there. He's 8-3. Astros keep finding a way to win. They beat the Rockies 6-5. Alvarez for Houston is going to go see a hand specialist. We'll see what that is. The Royals beat the Mariners 6-3. The Diamondbacks beat the Giants 8-2. Dodgers at home beat the White Sox 6-1. And Yamamoto got the win. He's 8-6. And I saw him a couple weeks ago to win the Cy Young, and he was like 20-1. And I was like, eh. And then I looked at his record, and I'm like, wow. But he's got a 2.5 ERA. The guy's just not getting enough support, which really surprises me. Dodgers are 22 games over 500. They're 31-14 at home. They're barely over 500 on the road. All right. If you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us.